It's just you and me together watching and talking about technology, including the OBSBOT Tail Air, which is today's show. This is a 10X PTZ from Bird Dog. It is this big. It is, and it's heavy. This is the camera for today's show. Let me rotate it so, well, I guess rotate it this way. Yeah. And you can kind of see this is way smaller. It's way lighter. Let me put this down. You could use that for lifting weights. And this includes a battery. And this includes Wi-Fi. But what this doesn't include is an optical zoom. And I just saw a post in one of the forums where guys like, I want to use the OBSBOT for doing live events. I'm like, unless you want every shot to be kind of a wide shot, sure. But these are not optical zoom cameras. You can kind of get up to 4X. And I've been asked to do a head-to-head with the, do we even have it? Yeah, I do. Head-to-head with the Mevo Start. So, whoops, wrong way. Because these are both fixed focal length cameras. There's no optical zoom in them. And how do they look at wide, 2X, 4X, and good light and low light, and do a head-to-head? So that is, you know, a video that is on the list. And I'm making a new channel. So I appreciate everybody who's here and watching today's show. The stream technology is the actual title that YouTube forces me to have. I can't just do tech because somebody else has that. But I really appreciate if you find a video somewhere in the library and share it to your social media, because that helps expose my channel to people who might not find it. And we will take a look at the OBSBOT. Let's go to overhead and boink. There we go. This is camera 3. I have 3 of them. Yep. I have one sitting up there, ready to go. They come in this nice case, hard case, so you don't have to bring the box around. They come in this little storage case, super cool. And that makes it easy to toss them into your gear bag for whatever event you're doing. That little zipper case, these are awesome. Do I need to buy NDI service for both YOLObox and OBSBOT? Yes. They are 2 separate things from 2 separate companies. You have to purchase the NDI license for the OBSBOT per camera. You get 3 cameras, that's 3 licenses. So the remote is a very cool way to control the PTZs. Look, I have it on red, which is off, but it's showing me that it's on. And that is a very interesting feature of the OBSBOT that I cannot quite figure out. The remote is off, the camera is off, but yet when I hit a button, it communicates with the camera to let me know the camera's available. But the camera's off and the remote is off. So it's using power when it's off to do communication, and there's power in the device that's on to communicate with the remote even though it's off. So you may find the batteries may not last as long as you think they should last. So this should be on now. And then I should be able to, there we go. I can move it. Boop, 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 boop. So there we go. That's up and running. And what I'm going to do is I am going to boot up my Ultra here. Monitor mode, enter. I wonder if I'm in monitor mode, do I still get to add NDI? NDI. It's going to look on my network. Now my network here in the office is a consumer network, a consumer Wi-Fi. It sees 2 Tail Airs. Tail Air 1. Apparently I named that one already. So there you go. There is, let me bring that up really big. That one is up there. That's the one I was talking about. And I can control it from here. Left, right, up, down, and I believe that is zoom. There you go. So the thing I like about the remote, if you have multiple cameras, you can't control PTZ in this device. So you having the remote, I feel, is the best way to handle multiple OBSBOT Tail Air cameras with presets. If you don't need to use presets, then it's not really a thing. But you can come over here and you say, this is P1. Okay? And then I'm going to zoom out some more. Oh, I guess that's it. And then we're going to tilt down. Oops. And we're going to say that's P2. And if I tap P1, it should go back to P1. Zoop. And go back to P2. And go back to P2. In my use of the OBSBOT tail air cameras, there's no faster way to do that, especially if you need to switch cameras. So let me boot up 2. 2 is booting up. All right, so let me add NDI. Now, I'm still on the free version, so it's going to quit after a while. Done. There it is. This is the close one right here. And I can tilt it up at me. Now 2 is up. Ah, okay, I did remember. So there's 2. Let me put 2. There's no place to put 2 really. Let's leave it right there. So I can switch to camera 2. 2 is up. And now let me bring 2 up. NDI. Switching over to NDI, looking around the network. I'm going to guess it's this one. Yep. Yay, I got it right. So we're going to tilt up on 2. You can see 2. So we're going to save on 2, say that's preset 1. And then we're going to zoom in on... Since we have someone watching from Pennsylvania, we're going to zoom in on my Telly Awards in my bill of fare. We're going to say that's preset 2. Now, all of a sudden, I want to jump to camera 1 and go to close-up. Camera 1, close-up. I've used the software with this. There's no faster way than that to jump between cameras and change an input. Now, if you're using vMix or a TriCaster or something like that, yes, you can have preset positions and they will work great. You don't even think about switching cameras because you're just basically cutting to something. That works great. But I mean, if you're in a more low gear type of setup where I've got my little YOLO box, I could use the software on another tablet. And this is what I show in the OBSBOT video, is that I could use my tablet. But then to switch cameras, I have to exit the camera. I have to find the other camera. I have to load back into the camera. And then when that screen comes up, by that time, the reason I wanted to switch cameras has already passed. There's not enough, that just takes too much time. Whereas now, if I'm on camera here, I say, oh, I want this camera to be here. Got it. So like that, I can switch cameras. Camera 1, wide shot. Camera 2, back to 1, back to 2. It's so easy. And 3 cameras with 3 presets pretty much covers much of what you might need in most situations. Yes, there have been times I've had like 9 presets, but that was a camera with a big optical zoom, 20x, aimed at the audience. So I had different areas of the audience cordoned off. So when we went to question and answer and somebody from the audience raised their hand, I could get that. Oh, that's 1, 2, 3. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could like cordon off the area. But you're not going to do that on a camera that does not have an optical zoom. You're not really going to have that much zoom to be able to section off the audience that much. And that's where the OBSBOT really does kind of have a limitation in the fact that it doesn't have an optical zoom. It would be nice if it did, but it doesn't. But for what it does, if you can put, if you have like a little event and you can put these things like right up by the stage, putting these 2 things right up by the stage, they don't take up a lot of room. People aren't going to be like, oh, there's this big hung thing in front of me. There's got a 1/4-20 on the bottom. You can put it right on top of a mic stand, which is actually how I have that one set up, the 3rd one. And being able to like crop in 2x, pan, get a different shot, or I can swing to the audience, swing back to the stage, swing the audience, and then in conjunction with an operated camera that is picking your close shots of people talking, and having this one as a wide shot, an audience shot, you know, different things like that. It's a great extra camera in a mixed situation, and they're very good cameras for when you have the ability to get your cameras close. What's the best lighting for streaming with this webcam? The OBSBOT is surprisingly good. I was testing it in not great light, and it is possible that the sensor, they talk about the larger pixel size in this, and they do have the ability to pick up light pretty well. So I'm impressed by the OBSBOT Tail Air in terms of lower light. I still wouldn't try to do things at night per se, but lower light is definitely something that is good, that is not a real limiting factor with the OBSBOT. Again, if you start cropping in on that, you're going to see more noise, because part of the fact is it's a 4K sensor. But if you're only delivering HD through your whatever switching you're doing, then what it's doing is it's using multiple photo sites to hide the noise through processing and give you a cleaner image. But if you start zooming in on those pixels, that thing is thinking I'm giving it hand commands to zoom and stuff like that, then you're going to see more of the noise and more of the artifacts, and then you're also going to see more of the noise reduction, taking detail away from your image. For those people who don't need NDI and they just want a PTZ camera, you know, you can buy the OBSBOT and use it as a webcam. And look, it tracks me as I walk around. It does this cool thing. I can have one set to wide, one set to close, and be done, and not have to pay for NDI if that's not anything I need. You know, like Restream that I've been using for today's comments allows you to connect multiple USB cameras in a multi-camera show in their studio. Here you go. Take the USB out of both of these. I got two cameras. Let's switch between them, but you don't need NDI. Anyway, so here's my Tail Air, and so let me move that over a little bit. Here's my Tail Air. It's 86%. I don't know which one that is because it's not giving me, or maybe it's not selecting the one that I rescan. It's searching. It should see 3. Okay, Tail Air 1. So that is the one that it's on. That's up there. So let's connect to that. The really cool thing with these things is, even if you don't have Wi-Fi, you can connect to your OBSBOT Tail Air through Bluetooth directly to get them set up. So here you can see, yeah, that's one of the weird things with this, is that you connect to them vertically, and then once you're connected to them, you have to go horizontal. So I'm using a little Fire tablet. If you watch my OBSBOT, I talk about the tablet here as a great resource. It's under $100, and they are like perfectly sized for doing this. And you can kind of see on here, there's my P2. And if I go to P1, there it is, it's zooming out. And then here's my P2, all much wider. And there's my P1. It's zoomed in more on me. And this is my actual output and my audio. So I can do those things. But the question was H.265. Let's go into here. Oh, good. It's actually coming up pretty good on let's make that a little bit brighter. So go back into here. Come down to, oops, cancel. You can see it does H.265 on my encoder. You can have high, medium, and low. That's on 4K, high, medium, and low bit rate. And then my NDI is set so that I can't change it right now because I'm using it and my output is 1080p. But I can be recording in 4K at H.265 if I had media inside of it, while outputting 1080p. There is a lot of capability in these guys. I really appreciate that. And then if I were to gesture control, I would turn all these things off if you're going to use NDI, because having done a couple different videos with the OBSBOT, I find that if I move my hands, I talk and everything, and then it looks at this as, oh, it's blinking now. Like it just changed whatever setting it was doing to now it's blinking and it's green. So I don't know if it's tracking me now. No. And if I do this again, now it's blue. No, now it's green again. So it dynamically picks up your hand. So if you don't want it constantly changing what it's doing, turn those off. And then you can, adjust your zoom capability there. That's the dynamic zoom. Let's turn that off too. So that way it'll like automatically dynamically zoom to follow you, which is pretty cool. And it's something that the Start does as well. You'll find a lot of similarities in between this interface and the Start interface, which makes going between them pretty easy. So you can mix them on a production and go between OBSBOT and the Start because they're NDI, and NDI is a standard. And if you go to the standard, if you work to the standard, then NDI camera, NDI camera, NDI camera, they're all going to come in to my Director or my Ultra. Or even if I had NDI something on here, or if I had NDI on my laptop. But you can see here's my P1, 2, and 3. Let's go to 3. There's my 3. There's my P2. Here's my P1. There it is, zoom. Actually, I can. So what I can do is I can actually take this P1. Can I move it? No, I can't. So let me go in the crop and tilt that down. And then I can come in the P1 and update. And that way, there's P1, there's P2, there's P3, P2, P3. This, I have to say, is very well done, the software. So if you want to, spend the money and get a couple tablets so that you have one camera on one tablet, one camera on another tablet, then you always have those presets available right there. But again, being able to switch, like, to exit this camera, we're going to go home. Done. Okay, rotate. Okay, it doesn't see my other cameras. Rescan. Okay. There's one. Here's the other one I want. Connect to the camera. Okay, there you go. Now I can go to P2. There you go. That's how long it took to change camera angles in the software. Whereas if I have this and I'm on camera 1, camera 2, camera 2, go to P1. That's how long it took to switch cameras. So this tool is the fastest way, I find. Plus, you can do it separate of what's in program. So now I'm on camera 1. I can tell it to go to preset 3. There it goes, preset 3. Cut to it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm talking. Back to the wide shot. Camera 1, preset 1. There it goes. Cut to it. So that's really the way it should be, is to be able to see the change here as a preview of the shot before you cut to it. And this remote makes that possible. Of course, you can always turn on the tracking and the other features on here. If you have the gesture control turned off, like I said, if you come over here and you turn those extra features off here, you can still activate them here. So if somebody starts moving around on the stage, you can then say, okay, camera 2, boom, gesture human tracking is on. Oh, and it is on. Add, NDI, search, that one. Yes, save. Cut to it. So this one now has tracking on, and you can see it's not coming across my consumer network very reliably. And it's probably because of bit budgeting. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 devices all on Wi-Fi, all moving video right now. And that is going to create some collisions. NDI is activated. Let's turn NDI off for a second. That's going to make it freeze. As you can see, come in the media settings. NDI H264 bitrate is medium. And you can choose between low, medium, and high. I'd have to get clarification from them as to what low, medium, and high is, but here you go. You can stream, you can NDI 4K. So even with H265, you're going to be talking maybe 100 megabits, because if you take a 4K bird dog at full NDI, it's going to be 380 megabits, 3 cameras, totally saturated gigabit network, NDI or RTSP. Again, you can only choose. If you're going to do RTSP, you're not doing NDI. If you're doing NDI, you're not doing RTSP. You pick one. And then your record is up here. So I do love the fact recording in 4K, streaming at 1080p, and my output, I guess that, yeah, the HDMI output is 1080p. Can I change that to 4K independently? Recording, NDI, RTSP, and HDMI only supports selecting one 4K stream simultaneously. So if I'm doing 4K as the record, I can't do 4K as the HDMI out, which seems kind of antithetical. You would think that it would be able to do that. 30 frames a second. Can I tap on that? 30 is tops. If I set this to, come on, 1080p. Now they're all 1080p. Can I go to, yeah, there we go. There we go. That unlocks 60. So it's only going to do 4K P30 or 1080p 60. So that is going to be your encoding limitations on the OBSBOT, and that recording will go to the, I know you're not going to like it, but the micro SD card slot right in the device. So you can put in whatever card you want, and there's the micro HDMI out, microphone input, USB for Ethernet networking, and or UVC into your device, and or just USB-C charging. And there's an expansion port on the back here that I haven't found a use for yet. And there's an expansion on the bottom here with pins for 360-degree rotation. Because like most PTZs, there's a stop point. It can't go further that way. And then, it can't go further this way. So there's a tiny little angle of space that it's not going to be able to cover. And so if you're going to use these without the 360-degree base, the spinny base, I'll just call it, you need to make sure you put that slot that it can't record somewhere where you're not going to need to point the camera. And then also understand that if you're all the way at 10 degrees and your wall is here, if you need to get something right there, you have to go all the way around to get there. Something that's very common, because even with this, there's a reason there's all this stuff in the back. Why? Because that's where it can't look. And if I spin it around this way, so that is a common factor in PTZ cameras. There are some that will do full 360 spin, but they're specially designed to have contacts as opposed to wires. Monty Weaver says, I'm waiting on the base to be available. Yeah, it's going to be a handy tool, especially for sports that go around. Like you can put it in the middle of BMX, indoor cycling championship, and have the thing just follow somebody around and around and around as they don't, as long as you've got like the camera suspended over top so they can go under it too or something. I don't know if it's fast enough, but that'd be pretty cool. I'm also hoping OBSBOT comes out with a wide angle lens for the Tail Air. I don't think they're going to do that because they did not build into the camera the option to add things like a magnetic ring or something like that. They can make a stick-on ring that's magnetic, and then you can stick on things. But also the motor inside, oops, sorry, that one's live, is balanced so that if I go to move it, actually go around this way. If I go to move it, it's able to do this because that's balanced. If you start hanging other things off the front, that's not going to be good for the very lightweight motors in here. So I really don't think that's going to be a thing for them. He also suggests maybe with a balance magnet. Well, you'd have to find a way to stick something on the back here and not impede the airflow, which is cooling the sensor. So yeah, maybe we're talking Tail Air Pro with a stronger motor that is already offset a little bit so that it's ready to have add-on lenses of what they're going to provide within so many grams, and that will still be within the tolerance of the motor. Because I know when I use the what are they called? Osmo, the DJI Osmo, the first couple models, they were like, I'm made for a phone. If you put a lens on the front of it, it is too heavy, and it just gives up. And then you had to like buy extra weights to hang them on the back. And then eventually they came out with the 3 and the 4 that had stronger motors, because they knew people were adding stuff. So they just said, okay, listen, you balance it for this thing, and we're going to be able to handle even more extra weight in other directions. So yeah, we'll see what happens. These are exciting times. NDI is a great technology, and this is just an amazing bit of kit in a tiny little battery operated package that you could stream directly from. You could hardwire, you could Ethernet network, you could wirelessly network, you can control with your tablet. It's just an amazing bit of kit that I wanted to highlight on today's show, because I think there's a lot of really good use cases for this. Again, different tools for different tasks. If you have something where you optically need to reach out further, there are lots of other PTZ cameras out there with optical zooms that are going to fit your needs better than this tiny camera, as cool and enticing as it is. It is like, I have a screwdriver and I have a pair of pliers. Different tools for different tasks. Use the right tool for the task at hand. August asks, does it have USB UVC? Yes, it does. You can take the USB out, jack it right into your computer. Looks like I'm late. He says, looks like I'm late to the party. Well, yes, I've been going for an hour and 15 minutes already. So yes, do appreciate you tuning in to the new channel at Stream Tech. Again, I will be here every Tuesday. If you have ideas, reach out to me. My website is Stream for Us. And yes, there is a Stream Technology Facebook page. You could reach out to me there as well, and send me a message as to ideas for future shows, if you need somebody to consult with a build or things like that, and if you want to find out more about the show and what we cover. I'm busy on a show. Try to pop in the next one. That's fine. We're all busy with different productions. I'll be busy with another production later this year. But definitely, for everyone here, I appreciate you all being here. My name is Anthony Brokus from Stream Tech. I definitely welcome your subscription to my channel. Share it, ring the bell, do all those cool things. But right now, share a video with your friends. Let them know that this channel exists. Help me grow the subscriber count. That would help me out immensely. Thank you very much, and I will see you next week.